Here's an entrance that you'll see off of Chilahoma, north of Goodman Road in Southaven, Mississippi, and south of State Line. Here's a main parking area for Central Park. A couple of porta-johns. Nice little place for the children to play. A few workout machines along the beginning of the path. There are multiple exercise stations along the way, but we use this one to stretch. And for people like me, old people like me, it's a good idea to stretch first before walking vigorously. Here's a grand old cedar tree. This is kind of what happens to cedar trees in the South after they grow 30, 50, 75 years. They just kind of get ratty looking. Love them, love them. And they look so beautiful like little Christmas trees when they first start out that you don't realize that they're going to look kind of scraggly when they get older. One of the big attractions for Central Park here in Southaven is the practice fields that are available for little t-ball players. Just kind of gets them ready to head to Snowden Grove or to the female facility over on Greenbrook eventually. This is a winged elm tree, pretty nice, healthy one. If you look in the lower boughs of the tree, though, there are bracts on the branches, and that's why they are called winged elm trees. We get really close. Right here, you can see the wings on that branch. You can look and see how a lot of the branches have these flares on them. This is most likely a white oak, probably a white oak. The reason I don't say red oak is because the bark is not real crumbly. It's pretty smooth near the bottom. Looks like there's a beautiful Virginia creeper vine coming up the bottom of this tree. That really creates a pretty effect on the side of the tree. This is also a native tree. This is a cherry tree, and of course it's well past the production time. Usually these mature probably May, June, and they'll mature with a little fruit that's about the size of a pea, but they have a rich flavor just like a Bing cherry. This is a native pecan, and as you can see there are bagworms in it. There are some up there, and it's really gorgeous here. You can see pecans waiting to mature right here in the boughs. One of the ways you can tell that you have a pecan tree is you have pinnate leaves. There's a stem that goes down the middle, and then the leaves kind of exit each side like little flags. That's a definite compound leaf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. So these have 11 leaves on the petiole there, the main branch. Here's a trail along the lower lake at Central Park. That is a beautiful lake. Always lots of ducks around here that would love for you to bring your loaf of bread. Don't forget that. There's also a bifurcation in the trail where you can head that way and continue in that direction. More beautiful cedar trees in the picture. These little ducks do not run off. They are all coming over here for a handout. Wish I could help you, kids. Oh, the other one bit the other one in the booty. There you go. I wish I could help you. These are not shy ducks. They are all pretty young though. These are babies. Wanting a little bit of something. Another day, roosters, another day. Aflac, 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 Aflac. As the trail continues, you have to kind of cross the grass at that knoll up there and then cross over to the right onto the road to be able to get onto the dike that goes around the lake. That is what I film next. This is a willow tree. You can see the beautiful yellow-green leaves, long, slender leaves. The Indians used to chew this bark because it has aspirin in it, salicylic acid, and this is considered to be a junk tree around here. This is probably not a weeping willow. The native ones are the ones, I think actually these are European imports, but the ones that we have naturally around this area are not the weeping willows. They're more vertical and upright. This park in the Christmas season sets up lots of lights that were obtained from Shelby Farms years ago. Out in the middle of this lake are some pretty impressive Christmas lights. This is a mimosa tree, and as you can see, it has lots of beans in it. It kind of has a real tropical look to it, and a pretty little flower that looks straight out of Dr. Seuss. It is a tempting tree to climb in when you're a child. The only problem is it has lots of dead wood in it, as you can see this one does, and matter of fact, I broke my arm falling out of one of these when I was 5 years old. The big tall tree in the center of the picture is a catalpa tree. Looks like it has some other vines and other trees kind of intermixed with it, but it has a long bean on it. It's fun to throw, easy to get in trouble with if you are a young person throwing beans at other people. It also is host to catalpa worms, which are used here in the south for fishing. It's a pretty good climbing tree, actually, if you can get one that has low enough branches to get into it, because the main branches are almost at 90 degrees to the main trunk. And it's not like climbing in one of these other trees like a locust tree or an elm, where the branches are at an acute angle to the main trunk. That is really hard to climb in, hurts your feet. Sweet gum tree, found a lot of places in Mississippi. The inside of the wood is hard, kind of tortuous, hard to split as firewood, and it is kind of gummy. If you look kind of up into the tree, there's a little sweet gum ball right up there. These are kind of a bummer because when they're in your yard, you can step on them and kind of get prickles in your feet. I'm trying to see if I can find one. Here are several of them that have been crushed underfoot. So you'll know how to recognize these. Sweet gum kind of has a star-shaped leaf. When I was talking about the mimosa over there earlier, I incorrectly stated that my dad went to school in Edmond, Oklahoma for Oklahoma State. It was Stillwater, Oklahoma, where he was in graduate school back in the late 60s, early 70s. Edmond, Oklahoma is the home of Oklahoma Christian College. Now, Oklahoma Christian University, my dad taught there for a little while before we moved to Jackson, Mississippi, where he ended his career teaching at Jackson State University. This is one of our favorite parts of our walk on the upper lake at Central Park in Southaven, Mississippi, walking along this dike, and you can see lots of pretty dragonflies kind of down low. There's some little squirrel action down here. People fish in here quite a bit. I don't see them pulling out a whole lot of stuff. Central Park is north of Goodman and south of State Line, and it's sandwiched between Swinney on the west, and then back on the east is Tullahoma. Lots of cool habitats for fish and perch and the like to get around here in the water, in the lake. I'm not seeing really anything in the water down here right now. It's kind of past spawning season though for perch. Normally if perch were spawning, you would see some round kind of caverns in the bottom of the lake, and usually there's a female perch in the middle of there defending her egg laying site. This is a very large grand red oak. Could be a white oak, but that's an old one right there. I bet you that's 75 to 100 years old. Really beautiful look at a sycamore tree. This is probably what you've normally seen, this one in the middle of the field of view here. This is a grand old cedar tree here, and the thing that I love about it, it is loaded with berries, loaded with beautiful berries. It kind of has a wintry look to it, even though it's August. Yesterday in DeSoto County, we had elections for our primary elections for superintendent, and Jim Ferguson and Corey Usselton both look like they'll be in a runoff. While I was teaching at their school, Horn Lake High School, back in the early 00s, I did a project, a bluebird project under their leadership. Good memories. We had to go off trail to go around the lake, but as you get back onto the trail, we usually hit this gravel road that goes back down behind here for a little way, and then kind of double back toward the parking area where we came in, right over here, straight ahead. A lot of people come to Central Park in Southaven to play disc golf. Here you can see one of the disc golf receptacles. Nice picnic tables here under a shady spot for a little family reunion. Leaves of 3, let them be. Little poison ivy action on this tree, kids. Don't touch. Quite a bit of debris wash over here. We had a pretty big rain last night. Looks like this ditch over here got really full. Here's a main parking area for Central Park.